Hello viewers, welcome to Young Maths Academy. Um, Today we have a class on method of differences. This is one of the topics on in further mathematics, okay, for A-level courses for 100 level students in my institution. Okay, I will be taking you through a particular, just a question on method of differences to gain understanding on how we solve questions using method of differences. Okay, we have this question on the board. A, it says show that 4r to the third is equal to r to the second into r plus 1 to the second minus r minus 1 to the second r to the second. Okay, and B says hence prove by the method of differences that summation r from 1 to n r to the third is equal to 1 over 4 n to the second into n plus 1 to the second. Okay, so we just start with treating A. Okay, solution. Okay, we have that we have to show that 4r cubed is equal to r to the second, r plus 1 to the second minus r minus 1 to the second r squared. It will be much more easier to show that the right hand side is equal to the left hand side. So we start by showing the right hand side equal to the left hand side. Okay, so right hand side we have that r squared into r plus 1 squared minus r minus 1 squared r squared. Okay, this is just a simple thing to do. Here, mere looking at this, critically we can see r squared is common to these two terms here. So I'll factor out r squared so that I have r squared into, okay, I have r plus 1 squared minus r minus 1 squared, just this way. Okay, so that from here I have r squared into, when I expand this, I have this to be r squared um, plus 2r plus 1 minus, open a bracket, this is also r squared minus 2r plus 1. Okay, I'll close it just this way. So I have r squared into, so I have r squared plus 2r plus 1 minus r squared minus by minus 2r, that's plus 2r minus 1. Okay, so that here I have r squared into r squared minus r squared, that's gone, this cancels out, and also I have 1 minus 1, this also cancel out. So now I have 2r plus 2r, which is 4r. Okay, and this simply give me 4r cubed. Okay, we've been able to show A, that the right hand side is equal to the left hand side, which is equal to the left hand side. Okay, now we are to use method of differences to compute this. Okay, so I have to rub off this. Okay, I can still work here. I have summation r equal to 1 to n r to the third is equal to, okay, so we want to show this is same thing as this, but from A we've been able to show that 4r cubed is equal to this. So by method of differences, it will be much more easier for me to make use of what is on the right hand side, that is, this differences of this is the same thing as this. So what I will do is to put 4 here, okay, that is, which is same thing as saying I have summation r from 1 to n r squared r plus 1 squared minus r minus 1 squared r squared. Okay, but the only thing we are given in the problem here is r cubed, not 4r cubed. Means if I factor out 4, if I bring out 4 from the summation, then I can divide both sides by 4. So that, okay, means I have 4 summation r from 1 to n r cubed is equal to summation r from 1 to n r squared r plus 1 squared minus r minus 1 squared r squared. If I divide both sides by 4, so that I will have the real thing, 1, okay, to n r cubed is equal to 1 over 4 into all of this summation r from 1 to n r squared r plus 1 squared minus r minus 1 squared r squared. Okay, good. Now what we are going to do is a simple thing. So we keep inputting the value of r. Okay, so here I will say when r I'm dealing with the right hand side now. When r is 1, I'll put it here. So 1 means I have 1 into 1 plus 1, 2, 2 squared, minus 1 here. I have 1 minus 1, that is 0 squared. Then 1 here, 1 squared. Okay, the next thing is to write plus because it's a summation. When r is now 2, when r is 2, I'll put 2 here. So I have 2 squared. 2 plus 1, 3. So I have 3 squared minus when r is 2, so I have 2. Sorry, I have 2 minus 1, which is 1. So 2 squared, that will give me, so I have this to be 1. Okay, 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 squared, 2 squared here. Okay, 2 squared here. Okay, so the next thing, I'll also put 3. When r is 3, 3 squared. Okay, so I have 3 squared. 3 plus 1 is 4. That's 4 squared. Minus, okay, when r is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. So I have 2 squared. 3 here, 3 squared. And so on, plus dot, dot, dot. So I will just have to put the last term as well, that is the nth term. So when r is n, so plus n squared, n plus 1 squared, minus when it is n minus 1 squared, then n squared. Okay, good. Now, method of difference is what we are all about is to look for terms that do cancel out, then then leave us with a particular number of terms that will remain to give us what we are to obtain. Okay, so in this case, if we look at this very well, here we have 1 squared, 2 squared. 1 squared will get rid of this minus 1, 1 squared, 2 squared will get rid of that. We also have 2 squared, 3 squared. You will see that this 2 squared, 3 squared will get rid of this as well. Okay, here I have 3 squared, 4 squared. There will be another term here next when I put when r is 4, whereby I will have 3 squared, 4 squared. Means this will also be eliminated. Okay, and here we can see here also that this will be out because 0 squared is 0, 0 multiplied by that will be 0. So this will also be out. Okay, now in the n minus 1 term, that is the penultimate term before the nth term, it will provide me some n minus 1 squared n squared term that will cancel out, that which will make this be out also. Okay, because when I put for n minus 1, it will provide me a term which will make this be eliminated also. So this is out. This term here will be out. So it will leave me with just this term here. Okay, so when I have this term, so which simply means that what I have here, that is my summation. Okay, I can just write that here, that summation r from 1 to n r cube is equal to, don't forget here we have 1 over 4 of all this. 1 over 4 of all this. Okay, 1 over 4 of all this, just this. Okay, so that this is 1 over 4 of what I have now here, leaves me with my n squared into n plus 1 squared. And when we look at that here, we could see that summation of r cube is exactly what we are to find out, which means we've been able to prove this correctly using the method of differences. Okay, so this is how we solve problems on method of differences. Thank you for watching.